just joined us, he's still on to Enterprise of Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The recent announcement by the federal government outlining a grand initiative to create 5 million jobs for Nigerian youth is undoubtedly a welcome sound to the ears of a demographic grappling with staggering unemployment in a nation where the energy or potential of its young population are too often stifled by a lack of opportunity. Such a bold promise offers a glimmer of hope.
However, while the ambition is commendable, the success of this initiative hinges critically on meticulous planning, transparent execution, and a genuine commitment to sustainable growth.
Indeed, the plan, which was announced by the Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, is designed to tackle youth unemployment and equip young Nigerians with the necessary skill for economic empowerment.
Olawande emphasized that the program would be driven through the Nigerian Youth Academy, NIA, a digital training platform to empower over 7 million youths in 2 years.
He stated that the government, in collaboration with the Ministry of Labor and Employment, had set up strategic programs like the Labor, Employment and Entrepreneurship Program to facilitate job creation and skill development. Olawande said this initiative is not just a promise, it is a practical step towards ensuring Nigerian youths have access to sustainable employment opportunities. He urged young people to leverage the platform for training in entrepreneurship, digital technology, and vocational skill.
The minister's unveiling of the plan must be followed by concrete details. How will these 5 million jobs be generated? Which sectors will be targeted? What specific programs and policies will be implemented to facilitate job creation and ensure the sustainability of these opportunities? Vague pronouncements, while political expedients, will do little to alleviate the anxieties of unemployed youths.
All right, that's what we have now. Let's have our conversation this morning. We still have with us Pastor Vansufeli and Innocent Adoluba. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Very well, it's my pleasure.
All right, I'd love to start with you, Pastor Vansufeli. Is this another smoke screen?
Well, we've had several of these kind of programs. Many of them have failed. Some succeeded. Success rates have been very low. From the Jonathan, the programs during the Jonathan era that has to do with there's one they call You Win, or there's something they call, so many of them.
Sure,
down to the last one we had was the Festus Kiamu's 26,000 jobs, right?
Yeah.
That they were to earn 20,000 for how many months and all that. That's the last one I had before this. And now this is coming, but this is not, there's a mix of people in the reportage, because in one hand, they're talking about the youth to engage, to join and engage in the training for entrepreneurship and all that. Then on the other hand, they're talking about employment. So I don't think this is clear. Do they want to train them for a prospective employment, or do they want to create an existing employment for them to benefit? Now, because the two, they are mixed up there in the story. So whatever it is, the most important is that the minister didn't tell us exactly what they will be doing. Kiamu's known they were to guide and protect and maintain public infrastructures, right? That was idea was around protecting, guiding, maintaining public infrastructures. But this one, we don't know what is on. The one that has to do with the other social intervention that we had, one of them was you register and you'll be teaching in a community school close to your place of residence. You'll be teaching. So this one, what is it on? What would the youth be doing as the value for the employment or the training? So the details are not there. We're just being told that they are going to employ.
So in other words, you're not saying this, are you perceiving it as dead on arrival, if I can say that?
No, I'm not saying it's dead on arrival. It's a good idea, but what are the modalities? What would they be doing? It's not clear what they will be doing, because you cannot just say you want to create jobs and then you just take people's names and start to pay them. There must be something of critical national concern that they'll be doing to, you understand? So let's know, are they going to deploy them to stop open defecation? People are still defecating on the expressway as we speak. I'm telling you, I just passed the express now, coming back. Even after I'd gone to court on that matter, the Ogun State area, they are still defecating. Is that the job, or what exactly is of critical national concern? Would they be enlisting the army to fight Boko Haram? Are they going to use them to increase food production, to fight food insecurity? What are they going to be doing? It's not
Clear.
it's not clear. Are they going to give them loan? Is that a job creation? Or what exactly it is that they'll be doing? So I really don't know.
Very true. Innocent Aduluba, this reminds me of with the same government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Bolaji Bosu Tijani, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. He started off with 3MTT, a program that he initiated to train people in IT and information technology. And I can tell you very boldly that I've not seen anyone who graduated from that school, from that online school, that had used it for anything. So for me, it's more like, money for the boys, like they've often done. Do you really think this government is intentional about lifting people out of poverty, especially the youth demography?
Well, what I see in it is that the specifics are vague, and each minister trying to stay afloat. One of the points raised during President Tinubu's, should I call it, holiday in France was that mid-year he will carry out a midterm assessment. So I don't know if this is somebody trying to huff and puff. Yes, there are critical problems in Nigeria that warrant maybe short-term leading to long-term solutions that must be sustainable. The minister, Ayodele Olawande, Minister of Youth and Development, has announced this in the digital direction. They are hoping to tie this with something the government is doing through the Ministry of Labor and Employment, Labor, Employment and Entrepreneurship Program. But you see, if you and I get to digital skills, like we need to buy food. And so Nigeria at this stage, for me, whatever empowerment we want to do, if Japan, US, Canada are leading from the front in tech, we have not matured to meet or compete. We should stay within where we are and solve our basics that we are yet to take off from, which is food, shelter, and clothing.
So in other words, what's your advice on this? Do you think it's not an initiative that should be embraced at this point, especially with the state of economy?
I have only one advice. The government should liberalize mechanized agriculture. Should make it surplus, ordinary, and common. So if me and Henry went to farm 1 week with cutlass and hoe, if we did with tractor in that 1 week, we would be feeding beyond our families.
They have to take care of insecurity too, because that will not work without taking care of insecurity.
I agree with you, sir. But my point is, at least, insecurity is not everywhere as we speak. Insecurity does not stop farmers in Woods, in Ogun State, or in Akwa Ibom State to go to farm. Can we start from there on the one leg of the country and then be sincerely dealing with, because look, they arrest people today who slice the heads of infants and women that are not armed. And in the end, they tell you they are released, they've repented. So for me, be dealing with that one. I don't know how to describe government handling or pampering of insecurity. But the objective is that when people can feed, they can drink. Because it is only those who are alive that can give testimony.
Yes.
So if we prioritize the digital, I'm very hungry. I don't think my vision will be clear looking at a laptop or
nobody.
Okay. Now, what would think? What's your thoughts on involving the youth in this? Since they are they're the ones we are putting in the forefront to embrace entrepreneurship and IT. Now, what's your thoughts on the involvement of the youth in all of this initiatives.
The involvement of the youth in this IT initiative or in the initiative I suggested, which of the two?
In both. Which do you think will be? I mean, will see the light of the day?
Anything can see
Because
the light of the day.
you're emphasizing agriculture.
Yes.
Barrister pointed your attention to the insecurity that has been,
which is pivotal.
Exactly. So what now do you think will be feasible given the kind of youths that we have today? We have Gen Z.
We don't have, we don't, like I've repeated it, there's nothing special, unique, peculiar, odd, or wrong with today's youth. The youth in Nigeria are the same with the universal youth. Nigerians, as we know, travel from this country, youth, and are excelling.
Yeah, but you need to take, like, to answer her question, you need to take social amenities in cities
Exactly.
to the rural areas.
Yes.
Make the rural areas as vibrant and social connection with the cities. Okay, there you can. Many of the youths who are attracted by these things will be engaged there. Okay, then subsidize diesel for them if you want to give them tractors, because they need diesel to power those tractors. So government can step in by then. Then you can have yield. Like he said, it's only when you have eaten that you can dream. Nobody dreams who is not there. Even Jesus, after he had fasted, he caused a fig tree to die there. You understand? So let us empower the youth in a way that they'll be able to function.
Sustainable.
Yeah, so because this one that they talk about employment, do you know what the federal government considers employment? They calculate employment when they come up with a program and give people grants. They call it employment. When maybe they are building infrastructures and all that, and the people are brought in as laborers, temporary, they call it employment. Is that employment? The word employment, we need to check it again and find out whether truly what the federal government refers to as employment is truly employment. Is this
In your
sustainable?
context, what do you think it is?
Well, I don't think these temporary things are employment. When after that, you don't know where the person is again. You don't know what it should be sustainable. Sustainable development, part of the what do you call SDG goals that has to do with sustainable development is that the development and empowerment should be such that it's able to get the person off from poverty. Remember, the first one is to wipe out poverty. That's the first among the 16 of them.
Economy.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah. So we're not looking at these SDG goals in even governors of states are not using it. It was only Peter Obi that used it. Then it was MDG, Millennium Development Goal. Before that one ended, before the sustainable development. So let's look at that project. That's a proposal. The United Nations proposal on that is sufficient and well robust enough to govern any kind of human race anywhere, to bring them to pull people out of poverty. When you want to do something, do it substantially. People should be able to come out from poverty. Don't blame people when they are unruly. Especially when that attitude is stem out of poverty.
Yes, because Barrister, the reason I actually asked this is I love drawing my people, my guests, back to countries that have been there before. In 1979, when China was opened up to the world, that was when industrialization, of course, transitioned into China. They took advantage of the globalization and the industrialization of the world, which America were more concerned about services than production, than going to the rails and producing. China took advantage of that, despite the fact that they had a weak government that weren't there for the people. But individually, they took advantage of that. Today, China is the second largest economy. So don't you think that we can equally take advantage of that without necessarily looking at the government to help us do what we expect them to do, which they are not ready to do?
Yes, at individual level, we have succeeded greatly as individuals. It's just that we have not succeeded as a collective. I mean, individuals have those with talents, those with capacity. There are youths that are farming today with doing soilless farming, okay, digital farming. You can use technology to farm today and grow and yield and then sell. Yes, do a lot. Okay, for those who have that skill and who have that passion and talent. Talent resides everywhere in every facet of human endeavor. There are talents. You understand? So people have been succeeding. Just that the enabling environment to expand it. No Nigerian is asking government to come and be giving them money to eat every day. I don't think they just need something that is good enough. Okay, an environment that is geared towards that will aid their talent and abilities. Okay, to have like you have a welder who had gone through the process of training, apprenticeship, is ready, is able to buy a machine. There's no power supply. So you're asking him now at that preliminary stage to go and get a generating set. You're asking him to go and get fuel or diesel to be fueling it. You are telling him to go and get too much that he cannot handle. So the next thing you see, he will not focus on the job again. He'll go and look for 1 HK, especially when he can be easily influenced in his immediate environment. 1 HK where they start to train him on how to do internet fraud and all that. So we must, even if we train people, we must give them soft landing, something to start up with, to kick off. You understand? If you train a man with a gun, and he's so good at using that gun, if you don't give him a platform wherein he can use that gun to bring positive aid, he will take that gun and turn it against society.
Very, very true. Yeah, Jane, this reminds me, if really some people or Nigeria can take advantage of demographics, regions that have succeeded in another way, like the Igbo entrepreneurship system, right? It succeeds without the government, right? It has a way it has worked without the government, and everyone in that ecosystem, seems to succeed totally without the government.
It has been adjudged as the surest business model in the world.
Yes. Yes. So the question is why? The question is why is the government?
It's called
Nigeria not
it's called in one voice system.
Yes. Do you think this not having oneness between us, this religious
the ethnicity, the right,
is affecting
that's making all other regions not take advantage of this.
Okay, you mentioned agriculture, which I feel was where our predecessors, started before the devil.
With agriculture, Nigeria was a global economy.
Exactly, given we're number one when it comes to the production. Our production level is nothing to write home about. Remember, we used to be number one in the world in production of cassava.
Till date, Nigeria is the largest
production, but
and subsistence agriculture.
Okay.
Yes, we are the highest in yam production too.
Okay, so now with the level we are when it comes to oil, can't we go back there? What's the constraint we're having? Aside this insecurity issue, are you looking at it in the direction of not being unified enough?
I don't know if there's such drama, but we have fragmented units. I don't know if there's such drama. For instance, when I call it fragmented, I should look at states. Even within one state, Tinubu states,
Physical city,
Ondo states. What are the core objectives of their governors? Their vision as regards agriculture, as we are speaking now. So that's why I'm saying in France, there can be, even in most countries, agriculture is not a national blanket issue like where we have this Nigeria, you have the Federal Ministry of Agriculture who doles out to who they please. If in the US, Nebraska as a state ships out cattle to Illinois, where Chicago is a huge manufacturing hub, and they pay them with automobiles till tomorrow, what we call trade by barter. So what do each state specialize in?
What are they known for?
What is Cross River State known for? That they hold on, that they sell
among
neighboring
are known for one thing. Okay, like you mentioned Enugu. We know it's coal.
So agriculturally. Well, see, if you travel from Nigeria to Usuka, I have done that for more than 30 times. There was a time the vehicle had to change tire, and as far as the eye can see, cashew are growing wild.
Yeah, fruit is littered all over the place.
You just pick.
No storage, nothing.
As far as the eye can see. In Enugu, can you name one? See, what we lack are agro processing.
Yes.
And the mechanization of the production of those products. He just told you now, with primitive hoe and cutlass, we are leading the world in cassava. Imagine if we use tractor and...
All right.
So sorry. What each state we have it, like I mentioned, acquired of the land of problem. Everybody then a food basket, blah blah blah. What is each state selling to its neighbor as a comparative advantage from the soil that is a free gift of nature? What? That's where to begin.
All right, let's sincerely hope that things will get better. We are a hopeful people and a hopeful country. We hope that our leaders are listening. But let's move on to another story here, and that's what's happening and still happening in Delta State. Some former People's Democratic Party (PDP) members in Delta State who moved with Governor Sheriff Oborevwori and his predecessor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, to the All Progressive Congress (APC) have, for unclear reasons, refused to resign their membership and yet want to register as APC members.
Sources said the ongoing registration commenced on a shaky note as the APC world leaders in parts of the state declined to register the PDP defectors, demanding evidence of their resignation from their former party.
This came as PDP members at the various wards and local government chapters of the state who rebuked Oborevwori and Okowa's movement to the APC converged the weekend, vowing to rebuild the PDP. We still have our discussants here. Let me start with you again, President Vance. You are a stakeholder, like I've often said, in this particular matter. Do we see an implosion? Do we see an implosion with the APC? Because positive and negative can't work. It has to.
Yeah, this demand is very critical. If you think about River State, the 27 lawmakers, remember them, who defected, and they came back and said they never defected. So the APC in Delta State, they are very cautious of that fact. So they are telling them that now that you have told the public that you have defected, can you give us evidence of your resignation from your political party, and then we can now register you. Many of them don't want to resign their position because first, it is the mechanization of Okowa who stole money, 1.3 trillion naira, that influenced that defection. Delta State isn't suffering any disadvantage from any government. Sheriff Oborevwori need not defect. He's doing well technically. Okay? But because when Okowa was borrowing, collecting money from everywhere to go and become vice president of Nigeria, it was Sheriff that was the Speaker of the House that was signing everything. So two of them having worked in criminal concert. They need to find a way to have their sins both forgiven, because very soon immunity will leave a sheriff. Once immunity leaves him, he'll be picked up. The reason Okowa was not picked up until now was because of the immunity he had. When he left as governor, you see, Sheriff and Okowa, they are in the same ship. They both committed those crimes together. So, because in Nigerian politics, when you move to APC, your sins are forgiven. Akpabio was at the same level, this same level where Sheriff and Okowa were when he left office. When immunity left him, the EFCC came after him. Okay. So that is what influenced. So you see all those followers following them, the commissioner, all those people that are saying, yes, they are going to plug Delta State into, plug them into this thing. Those ones are just follow. They just want to please those two guys.
But innately, their mind is still...
That's why they don't want to resign. Delta State is a foundational member of the PDP. Since 1999, in fact, PDP's formation to date, No political party has won any election in Delta State. So all of a sudden, you just wake up one morning and say you want to go and plug the people. You start talking about the people because you have a EFCC case. Then you want to use it to. So let them all go and resign. Okay, those who are left in PDP there should place an order. They should bring their resignation letter. We need to collect it before they go and register with the PDP. That is with the APC. That is very important. Because the APC will not enlist them if they do not resign. Because remember the court judgment in the Rivers State matter, where the court said that you cannot say they all defected. That for defection to be effective, even though there's no law that backed it up, the court was just blabbing. That for defection to be effective, you have to show that you have resigned from your political party and you have now registered in a new political party and you can prove it and show it. That's exactly what the APC they are doing there. Otherwise, if you don't ask them to go and resign, tomorrow they will turn around and say they did not defect. That what they did was they are trying to test the system. They want to look at how things are going. They will bring nonsense. So I like the way this thing is going. Go and resign your position from the former political party. Then make a formal application for this political party. Then we'll give you card as a registered member of this political party. That's the way to go.
Senator Duluba, this is becoming
confusing. This drama.
Anyway, this is what Nigeria wants. What we are seeing. They say as you make your bed, so you lie on it. You see, the political defection in Nigeria, I see it as caused by two principal factors. People with undefined political ideology, and of course, people want to safeguard their political interests. And then it looks to me like Nigeria has laws that conflict itself. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's amendment in Section 40, subsection 6 declares freedom of association in any political party or trade union. That's the law. Now, on the political front, you are Barrister Ofili, I am Innocent Adunuba. You are in Party A, I am in Party B. The choice of the people is for Party A, not Party B. And so they elected Barrister Ofili in Party A because they don't like Party B. Now, Barrister Ofili truncates, abuses, throws away the trust, the choice, the political rights of the people, and joins Party B. If you ask me, there should be such law that should he do that, he will lose every elected Nigerian political office holder should lose their, whether your party was on fire, if you leave a desk you were elected for, you will lose the office. While you are unelected, as we are now, there are businessmen, there are ministers. If they defect, I don't care. But there are people balloted to get you into an office. If you are an elected Nigerian office holder, you are barred from leaving that party until it's like you applied for a job. It's not political party. That was the route you came in. That should be the route you will go out of. So that's where we are now. And the politicians in a Delta are what I call lucky people. Because in Nigeria, we already have somebody who is a global figure in Minister Nyesom Wike, who we know till tomorrow as a member of the PDP. But we can see his supporting interest in the APC. I don't know from where we sit if there is if Minister Wike ever resigned from the PDP. Maybe some people in Delta are looking to
play that kind of
one leg in the river, one leg in the desert, and claim we are neither here nor there. But only God can be ubiquitous. So and it's a shame on the political space of Nigeria, because If we are building a one-party Leviathan, and that behemoth will dwarf the power of opposition. And that's where I'm very, very personally, I don't know how to rate the People's Democratic Party. I see them as the strongest and biggest opposition party that has gone to sleep. Look at what Barry said. In this confusion, PDP can issue out a very straight statement that congratulations to our members who have defected and are no more our members. We await their resignation so we can veto it, and then they can freely go join and then publish the names of those people. You know, and that tells you, like I mentioned, structural functionalism. Structures are fulfilling their functions.
They PDP made a statement
to that effect.
No, but the statement is that they are going to have them prosecuted through the court system. Prosecuted means not criminally, but they are going to court on the basis of whether or not it is stated in the constitution as to the executive, the governor, defecting or not, whether the constitution is silent or not. The PDP, they are going to court. That's what they said. They want to test it. We know that for lawmakers, it's clear. You know, Section 68 and Section 109 for the federal and state respectively. There's a provision that says you must not defect. That if you must do that, you must prove that the party have problems and all that. But for the governor, nothing like that under the law. But they said they are still going to court.
But
okay?
Barrister,
and let them go.
Ned has defected for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, by what you stated in our no one has prosecuted him.
But the PDP has issued a statement. Now, it's only the legal advisor of the PDP that can give direction by the party constitution on who should be prosecuted and how they are going to prosecute. But now the PDP National have issued a statement. Now all those who defected, they are taking them to court.
So my point is there should be no, once you are an elected person, I like citing, of course we are not, we are Nigerians, I like citing Donald Trump. How in the course of the campaign, he was on impeachment rule, everything was messy. Yeah. I kept saying, this man, I'm waiting for his party people to shamefully decamp or defect. You know, for me, I'm not the Nigerian lawmaker. Once you sit on an elected portfolio, whether your party is on fire, quench it. You cannot defect. If you want to defect, tell us you have resigned that position, then defect. You will see that the defection will no longer be attractive.
Very true.
Because people are being lured by whatever, whether you are running from EFCC or not. People are lazy and lured by the power of the incumbency, and so they think that in that position they are no more occupying an attractive, the word Nigeria was juicy. So you cross over, and then Archbishop, the political Archbishop Adam Shlomo is waiting to absolve you from all your sins as a former non-APC member. Now that you have joined, there are cartoons all over the media now making mockery of joining the APC and going scot-free.
But my question is this, some spiritual philosophers would say that it's better to be a lion in the jungle than a dog in the city. How do you think some of these PDP people might be feeling right now, knowing that they are being cajoled, they're being, caricatured in one way or another? Imagine going to join the party and someone is telling you to bring it first when you know you are still going to play second fiddle.
And who even has it that some of them, the APC members, are scared of the PDP coming, and the PDP themselves are skeptical?
Yes, because there is already a functional APC structure in Delta State. Okay, and those ones, because they already have positions they are holding, they made up the structure called APC in Delta. But the people coming from PDP, they are the ones with money. And party strives on finance. The governor is the one with the entire resources of the state. So, some of them are agitated. You make the governor the leader of the party overnight. He comes with his followers. They supplant all of us. And then we are now kept at the background. So we have to deal with them first by telling them to go and bring their resignation letter and everything. That's only what is going on. Because many of them have already strategized themselves for the next election. The old guard of the APC in that state. So the governor coming now is like you are saying, what's it going to be like? You know, they already have their own governorship aspirant, all those things. The governor is going to come out and take over that. And one is because it's with funds, you can have that. He will buy all the delegates. They may even give him a consensus. They will come together and write letters stated by the Electoral Act and bring him out as a consensus candidate. So what happens to those who build the party? So there's always going to be discord when the people will feel cheated and people will be agitated. So it depends on how they now manage it and all that. But the same problem they are running away from their PDP is the same problem they are going to face in APC.
Can we ever have a stage where it's not the richest or the wealthiest that can run the governance?
In the first republic, it was party over individuals. Is it ever possible for us to get back to those?
Yeah, it's supposed to be supremacy, the party supreme. The supremacy of the party is what should guide and not the individual. Okay, that's why it's political party that contests and win or lose elections. Okay, and the Supreme Court has said it over and over again that it is the party that contests elections and win or lose, not the individual. So if that is anything to go by, that is even a precedent to use against the governor. I mean, not statutory precedent now, but judicial precedent. Okay, because you have Celestino Meya versus Amechi, that is the locus classicus in that case, wherein it was established that individuals don't. That is why in the ballot box you don't have individual's name. You have the party's name. So if PDP were the one that won that election in Delta State, PDP have locus standi to go to court to ask that mandate be retained.
Yes.
On the basis of judicial precedent, not statutory now, because statutory we have to look at the Constitution, Section 68 and Section 106, and marry that with judicial precedent for lawmakers. Then for the governor, since the Constitution didn't make express provision, then you use the judicial precedent of, and that is why they say they are going to court, so they have a case.
All right, yes, in 60 seconds, please, Innocent Aduluba, how can the APC in Delta State avoid the Labour Party, Julius Abure, Apata faction in the Labour Party? Remember, the Obi team came in late when the Labour Party has been established and grounded and doing fairly well. But of course, they came and they took over everything, while the people who started it, of course, are complaining, Apata. And till today, the fracas there is because of people like Apata. So how do you think that can be
Lamidia,
avoided?
Papa.
Yes, Lamidia, yes, Apapa, sorry. Apapa, sorry.
Well, I'm of the varying opinion. I think there is a crusade in Nigeria to have one party most powerful. And that one party is strategically weakening other parties who are allowing themselves to be weakened. Because if Party A attempts to weaken Party B, what is Party B doing? Once upon a time, Labour Party were united. Once upon a time. And formidable. The same thing you mentioned in Labour is also happening in PDP now. You know, they are getting weakened. And the advocates of political parties from Aristotle to Plato, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Edward Burke, even Karl Marx, those people whose legacy we are borrowing now did not intend it the way we do it in Nigeria. It is the individual, his charisma, his leadership ability to inspire that throws up candidates in political parties. And the parties gather resources to support this person to win. In this case in Nigeria, there's a reversal. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori sits on vast state resources. And look, he will be openly welcomed in any party. If you form a gutter political party now, and the governor with that resources comes in, whatever the queue on ground is dismantled. So I don't think, look, let me say this. APC are in a good place. They are a lucky party. They have no opposition. I don't think they should worry about Labour or Aburi. They are in a good place. The oppositions in Nigeria are refusing to objectively bond together and fight.
Well, there's still time. We have
Time is running out.
We have about 2 years plus, before we get into the next election. So there's still time, and we hope it will be we would of course see another story from the coalition and all. But like people would often say, that politics is domestic, different strokes for different folks. In Burkina Faso, Africa is giving a thumbs up to the military dictatorship in Burkina Faso and saying that is the best form of democracy. Right here in Nigeria, it's another thing. But let's just hope that things work out. The most important thing is good governance. It doesn't really matter who is in power. But of course, we do not pray for military dictatorship, though.
We don't.
Isn't it?
We don't.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here.
My pleasure.
Yes, we really do appreciate you all. So we're just about to close shop right about now. But please do well to visit us if you may. You can actually read up on everything we've discussed here when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com, and you may equally rewatch when you equally see us at the Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwe.
I am Jane, I know.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.